This was asked by Austin. He said, the heated mean-spiritedness in apologetics as of late. Okay, Patreon, they get these streams early and they can ask me questions or drop topics there. So if you're not on Patreon, consider joining a free 7-day trial, all that good stuff. So before we get into this Cliff Connectley, because I think this kind of sets it up, right? The Cliff Connectley, Stuart Connectley Orthodox video discussion. I think we have to address the macro situation right now with apologetics in general, okay? Specifically, I guess some would say some of the mean-spirited apologetics within the space. And this is what I mean. Apologetics has historically been a defense for the faith. That's what doing an apologetic is, right? You're providing a defense for the faith. When apologetics turns into obliterate, dominate, humiliate, career ending, so on and so forth, I understand. I'm not even mad at that in terms of the YouTube side of things. Like, that's fine. But it's not without consequence in the sense that it creates this culture of people who are really into ideas and very not into fruit of the Spirit. Speaking in generalities, but we've seen this in certain pockets of apologetics community on YouTube. So there are people who like apologetics as it's like a blood sport to them. Apologetics is like Fight Club. If the objective of apologetics is to give a reasonable defense for the faith, that's a different objective than Fight Club. It's just different, right? We want Fight Club. We just want to spar and fight because that makes us feel more fill in the blank. And I don't think that is the point. That's not the era I come from. I come from the Lee Strobel, Josh McDowell, and then now you see that exhibited in guys like Dr. Sean McDowell, Dr. Gavin Ortland. That's the stream of apologetics that I prefer and I come from. So I don't know when the shift happened. Perhaps it happened like debating raging atheist and then debating jihadi Muslims, and now that same energy is kind of kept even within Christian circles to some degrees, and so it creates this weird subculture of people who crash out in comment section and say the most unimaginable things to people, and everyone is looking for the win and the obliteration and the domination instead of looking to exhibit Christ, right? And it's a lot more logic and a lot less fruit. And I'm personally not a fan of that. Now, again, this is not a shot at any of my colleagues. This is not a shot at God Logic, who I think is very kind and very polite. I think he's very sharp, and I think he is doing great work, or David Wood, or so on and so forth. But it's more of the community and the comments that I see this sort of stuff. And I don't want to spend a bunch of time riffing against something. Instead, I just want to build something better. So we're just going to build something better, flat out. We're going to host good faith debates. We're going to give people an opportunity to come together before the debates, so there's no hostility and anger. We're going to put on live events where people are showing up and able to see a debate in person. And yes, it will cost money, because some of you goobers are okay with spending money on everything but anything related to your faith, which is backwards to me. I think if anything, you should be excited to invest into your faith and invest into your passions instead of spending frivolously on everything but your faith. That's another conversation. That's neither here nor there. And by the way, and it'll come out on YouTube for free, because that's what we can do, is we could put stuff out for free because a few end up making it accessible to the many. It's interesting how that works. There's a few people who are willing to sacrifice so that the many can get it, and we'll continue doing that. And so you guys saw Alex O'Connor versus David Wood. I hope that is the first of many. I hope that is the beginning of a new direction in terms of what we can do when we have good faith conversations. We're already planning the next one. We got a bunch of names that we're discussing in terms of who is willing to debate, people that you may not expect, people that have not debated before. And we're hoping to bring people together so that we can not just obliterate our opponents, but to actually have the best representation of someone that you disagree with, even if you disagree with them, and to steel man and not straw man other people's positions. And I think if we can get, and by the way, I think it's our Christian obligation to engage in that sort of fashion. And I think anyone that's rage baiting, I think anyone that is consistently cussing people out, I think anyone that's consistently attacking people personally, ad hominem. In a debate, an ad hominem attack just proves you lost. In a debate, you threatening physical violence to someone, like a real debate, not this like online, unstructured. Like whenever you go to name calling ad hominems or physical threats, like it's over. You've lost. It's a wrap. And so I would hope that we can get there. Now, this is what I'm not interested in. I am personally not interested in debating other Christians, personally. Doesn't mean I won't maybe moderate or set up something with other Christians, other folks who I think brothers and sisters in the Lord. But I'm personally not into that, personally. So I wouldn't be excited to see another Protestant, Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox debate. That's not what get me excited. You know, I'd much rather see some LDS, some atheists, agnostics versus the Christian worldview. That's what get me excited. I think that's fun, and that's what we will see more of. But I think there even is a way to do it within I would call the lines of orthodoxy in terms of theology, in a way that's good faith. And again, if you don't want that, like if you're like, hey, no, we need to rage and we need to humiliate and we need to win and we need to do all these things, like I don't understand your heart. Like because that's the opposite of a born again, transformed heart. Like why would you want fellow brothers and sisters humiliated because they're wrong? You should want to gently correct them unless you yourself slide into sin, right? And so ego is a hell of a drug, man. Ego is a hell of a drug, and the pride of life and the need to be right and the need to dominate is weird. And so again, this is then downstream in terms of how this plays out. Now again, there are people that I think are more abrasive than my cup of tea, but they're not in the spirit of trying to one up other Christians. You know what I mean? Whether that's debating Muslims or whether that's debating leftists. I just think when he gets into trying to humiliate fellow Christians, it's just weird. Unless you legitimately think like Protestants aren't Christians or Catholics aren't Christians. I just think that's a weird desire. And so I don't get this idea of like everybody wants their pound of flesh. Everybody wants this person they don't agree with to be deplatformed and to be removed and to be canceled. It's just weird stuff, man. Like it reminds me of like the leftist brain rot of cancel culture with the way some of this stuff goes down. And so I'm excited to see these conversations. I think they will happen, and we're gonna do them at the next Bless God Summit. So join the wait list if you want to be the very first to hear about it and be the very first to get discount tickets. And yes, they will cost, as most things you do when you go outside. They cost. Yep, they cost. That doesn't mean we're not going to do scholarships and try to give as many tickets away as we can. That doesn't mean we're not going to do a cheaper virtual ticket alternative. It doesn't mean we're not going to eventually put the debates on YouTube. We will do all of the above. But if you want to be there in person, and by the way, those of you guys that went to the last Bless God Summit in person, you know there is nothing like being in the room for an event of this caliber. And go to blessgodsummit.com, sign up for the wait list. I'm literally like going to see the venue Thursday. I'm already talking to people about debates, which debates we're gonna have. It's emotion, it's emotion. It's gonna happen. So, but it probably will sell out this time because we have a lot of people already on the wait list. So blessgodsummit.com if you want more information on that. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And check out this other video that YouTube seems to be recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.